They surprised everyone last season, but Leicester City were on the receiving end of a shock at the Haych Stadium. It's the first time the Premier League champions have begun their title defence with a defeat. Arsenal were also beaten, meaning for the first time in 63 years, both the top two from the previous campaign lost their opening matches. The 4 goals Arsenal conceded laid bare the lack of depth in defence. Rob Holding partnered Callum Chambers at centre-back. The average age of Arsenal's starting defence, the youngest of all the sides across the first round of fixtures. Fans appear desperate to see the club bring in some new faces to improve the squad.
You have to worry for them. This season they haven't really added too many. Whether Mustafi gets there next week or whatever it is, you know, is he going to be the answer? Everybody's still waiting for a striker. It's going to be a tough season for Arsenal, and when you consider the strengthening that's going on around them, and they've not really added too much.
The club's search for a marquee forward remains ongoing. None of Arsenal's strikers last term were able to reach the 20-goal mark. So Wenger's interest earlier in the summer in Leicester's Jamie Vardy was understandable. The Foxes' frontman has an impressive recent record against the Gunners, and he'll be out to hurt them once again.
The obvious with Jamie Vardy is his pace and the fact that he stretches teams. You know, no matter what you do with Leicester, we knew the way they're going to play, but you couldn't really stop him because he's a willing runner, and it's something that Arsenal have needed for many, many years.
A number of clubs, including Arsenal, had also been linked with Riyad Mahrez. The Algerian was one of the Premier League's best performers last term, and early signs suggest he could be just as dangerous this season. His decision this week to sign a new contract with the champions will have delighted Claudio Ranieri.
Player of the Year last season, rightly so. The skill and the technical ability of him is somebody that would easily fit into Arsenal. Absolutely, he's a terrific player. I don't blame Arsenal for trying to get those 2 players because they would make an improvement on the squad.
Despite missing out on Mahrez, the Gunners can still boast a wealth of creative midfield players. And last season there was none better than Mesut Ozil. The German was absent against Liverpool but could now return, so keeping him quiet will be key to Leicester's chances.
People know where Arsenal's potency is going to be coming from, and they're going to make sure that they quell it as soon as they possibly can. Hopefully he'll be able to rise to it, because I think that he's going to be a lot more tightly marked in certain situations. They're going to have to try and starve him of the ball, and it's up to Arsenal, the Arsenal players, to make sure that he does get on it and he's able to create, because he is, let's face it, you know, he's an assist king.
Leicester's defence is likely to be aided by the returning Robert Huth, who missed last weekend's game through suspension. The imposing centre-back was a huge part of the Foxes' success last term, and his absence is always keenly felt. Since the start of last season, Ranieri's side haven't kept a clean sheet when he's been out of the team. But with Huth now back in the frame, Leicester will look to extend an incredible run of home results. It's been 15 matches since they last suffered defeat at the King Power, although the team to inflict that most recent loss was Arsenal. Wenger will be hoping his side can once again prevail in front of the Leicester faithful.
The fans are going to be expecting something, so if you can quieten them down for a bit and then you start slowly getting into your game, then it can go the other way for him, because if the crowd go quiet, then that does have an adverse effect on the players who are used to the crowd being behind them all the time.
Leicester fans must now lift their team after that disappointment of the opening day. With the Gunners also searching for their first points of the season, it should be a truly gripping encounter.